Here is a question every SAP organization faces. When do you move from SAP GUI to Fiori? The answer is not when SAP forces you. The answer is now. A recent survey found that 78% of SAP users under 35 consider the SAP GUI interface a barrier to productivity. Meanwhile, your competitors are already running modern, browser-based interfaces that work on any device. The migration from SAP GUI to Fiori is not just a technical upgrade, it is a business transformation that directly impacts employee satisfaction, training costs, and process efficiency. Today, we will walk through a proven 4-phase migration strategy: assessment, foundation, migration, and optimization. Whether you are planning to migrate 50 transactions or 500, this framework gives you a structured path from GUI to Fiori.
Let us start with why this migration matters beyond the user interface. First, SAP is investing all new development in Fiori. New features, new apps, and new capabilities land in Fiori first, and some never come to SAP GUI at all. Second, Fiori runs in a browser, which eliminates the need to deploy and maintain the SAP GUI client on every desktop. For organizations with 10,000 endpoints, this removes a significant IT operations burden. Third, Fiori apps are role-based. Instead of memorizing T-codes, users see tiles relevant to their job. This reduces training time for new employees by an estimated 30 to 40%. Training time reduction percentage varies by organization and role complexity. Fourth, Fiori enables mobile access. Approvals, time entry, and inventory checks can happen on a tablet or phone, which is impossible with SAP GUI. The question is not whether to migrate, but how to do it efficiently.
The assessment phase answers two questions: which transactions are candidates for migration, and which Fiori apps exist to replace them. Start by identifying your most used transactions. Pull this data from transaction ST03, Workload Statistics, or the Usage and Procedure Logging in Solution Manager. Rank transactions by execution count over the past 12 months. Next, for each transaction, check the SAP Fiori Apps Library for a corresponding Fiori app. The library lets you search by transaction code. Enter ME21N and it shows you F0342, Create Purchase Requisition, as the Fiori equivalent. Not every transaction has a direct replacement. Classify each into 3 categories. Full replace means a Fiori app covers the full functionality. Partial replace means a Fiori app covers most features, but some advanced functions are missing. No replace means no Fiori app exists yet, and you will need a hybrid approach. This classification drives your migration roadmap. Before migrating a single transaction, you need the enablement in place. This phase has 4 components. First, activate the Fiori front-end server in Launchpad. If you are on S/4HANA, the embedded front-end server is already available. You just need to activate the relevant ICF services. Second, configure the SAP Gateway for OData service provisioning. Every Fiori app communicates through OData services on the gateway. Activate and test the services for your first wave of apps. Third, set up identity and single sign-on. Users should log into the Launchpad once and not be prompted again. Configure SAML 2.0 or X.509 certificate-based authentication. Fourth, build your initial Fiori Launchpad. Create business roles, catalogs, and groups for your pilot user population. Do not over-engineer this. Start with roles for 2 or 3 departments and expand as you learn. The foundation phase typically takes 4 to 6 weeks for an organization with existing S/4HANA infrastructure. Here is the reality. You will not replace every transaction on day 1. Some transactions have no Fiori equivalent. Others have partial equivalents where power users still need GUI features. This is where Fiori comes in.
SAP provides two mechanisms to run GUI transactions inside the Fiori Launchpad. First, Web GUI embeds the SAP GUI screen inside the browser, rendered by the ABAP front-end server. The user clicks a tile in the Launchpad and sees the familiar GUI screen without needing the SAP GUI desktop client. Second, NWBC, or NetWare Business Client, provides a richer rendering for GUI transactions with better integration into the Launchpad shell. The key principle is this: users should have one UI, the Fiori Launchpad, for everything. Native Fiori apps and wrapped GUI transactions coexist on the same Launchpad. Users do not need to know or care which technology runs behind each tile. This eliminates the two systems problem and makes the transition during the transition period.
Execute the migration in waves, not a big bang. Each wave focuses on a user group or business process. Wave 1 targets your highest impact, lowest risk transactions, typically approvals, self-service, and reporting. These are high-volume, simple interactions that show immediate user experience improvement. Think approve purchase orders, my leave requests, and display sales orders. Wave 2 tackles core transactional work within one business process, like the full procure-to-pay cycle, purchase requisitions, purchase orders, goods receipts, and invoice verification. This wave requires more testing because the apps interact with each other. Wave 3 addresses remaining transactions and advanced scenarios. Some will migrate to native Fiori apps, others will run as hybrid GUI in Fiori tiles. For each wave, follow the same pattern. Configure the apps, build the roles, test with key users, pilot with a small group, then roll out. Each wave should take 4 to 8 weeks from configuration to rollout.
Migration is not done when the apps are live. Phase 4 focuses on user adoption and continuous improvement. Track adoption metrics. How many users are logging into the Launchpad daily? Which tiles are being clicked? Which GUI transactions are still being accessed directly, bypassing the Launchpad? Use the Fiori Launchpad's built-in usage analytics or SAP Focused Run Real User Monitoring to collect this data. Run targeted training for user groups with low adoption. Often, the barrier is not the technology, but the habit. Users who have used ME21N for 15 years need coaching to trust the Fiori equivalent. Create champions in each department, power users who help their colleagues transition. Finally, collect feedback systematically. Which Fiori apps are missing features that users need? Feed this back to your development team or to SAP through customer influence sessions.
Let us bring it all together. Your migration follows 4 phases. Identify your top 50 transactions, map them to Fiori apps, and classify each as direct replace, partial replace, or no replace. Foundation: activate the front-end server, configure Gateway, set up single sign-on, and build initial roles. This takes 4 to 6 weeks. Migration: execute in 3 waves, approvals and self-service first, then core transactions, then everything else. Use hybrid GUI in Fiori for transactions without native apps. Each wave takes 4 to 8 weeks. Track adoption, train laggards, create champions, and collect feedback. Start your assessment this week. Pull your transaction usage data from ST03 and search the Fiori Apps Library for your top 10. That one step gives you the clarity to plan the rest.